I want to go a little deeper on why you either had a narcissistic relationship or you are currently experiencing a narcissistic relationship. And even more specifically, if you're listening to this video, probably have a pretty big purpose. See, what you may not know, or maybe you have some awareness of this, is that this relationship is the thing that triggers you into the most powerful version of yourself. And it does that by allowing you to experience the complete opposite of what feels like your power. So what it does is it causes the appearance of powerlessness to an extreme, okay? Because remember, this is about polarity. This is about opposites, right? In the form of extremes. And you know what's cool about the form, like when it's extremes like that, is that you can accomplish great things despite what you've heard about this type of relationship, and how difficult it can be. What you can gain from the alchemy of it when you apply these principles. And there is a timing, please understand that I am not advocating for staying in an abusive relationship, what I am saying is that, or also just an abusive environment, because this is not just about like a relationship. This narcissistic empath dynamic shows up in many forms. But here's the thing: if you don't deal with why you're attracting it in the first place, then you just keep attracting it. It's that simple. You can get out of it, but if you don't understand the point of it, as well as your power and what you're meant to do here, you've just missed the whole opportunity. And there really is great opportunity. And my perspective is probably not going to be like most. Because the victim perspective, while it is a part of this process, it is not one that you should stay in, as it doesn't allow you to hold or even see your own personal power. But going back to the purpose of this dynamic, the opportunity here is for you to turn that polarity into you being the greatest version of yourself by facing what you perceive as limitations, the places of you where you feel unseen, unheard, insecure, powerless, where you feel like you don't have a voice, where you feel misunderstood, where you feel different, where you feel like you're alone, where you feel like people don't take you seriously. These are all places inside of you where you may have been unconsciously playing small. And again, these are in different classes, or, you could have a career where you're very successful and still playing small in your life because you may be living a role that by society standards, checks all the boxes on paper, right? But for you personally, it feels empty inside and doesn't really match genuinely who you are, right? Or, you reverse that. You could be somebody who always knew you were meant for something big, but your reality just never matched what you saw for yourself, and your conditioning seemed to really oppose that vision. It all comes down to you being the true you. And what happens is that you meet the narcissist in some form, and they come into your life seemingly, whether it's seemingly to be the perfect person, if it's in a relationship, or you meeting them and they're just, aggressive from the start. And at some point just denying everything of who you are, rejecting, abandoning, and you shrinking and becoming more and more invisible in some way and losing your identity, right? It's like at some point in that relationship, you become less and less and less, and they become more and more and more. And this really starts to probably depress you, cause you grief, frustration, all the things, until you probably get to a point where you don't even know who you are anymore. Usually that's when the work starts. Or in a lot of cases, maybe you lose everything because you unconsciously handed your power over to the narcissist, or you go through some kind of humiliation, whether it's you're losing something, or they've tried to ruin your reputation, you've lost your finances, your health. I mean, there's so many different ways that this relationship could affect you. And there is purpose behind that. Because remember, you are experiencing the polarity of this, the opposite, to a really strong degree. Because losing your power, losing things that matter to you most, is when you realize that you had the power all along, and it was never the way that you saw it. It was never in which the way you saw it. The power was never this practical, worldly thing that the narcissist tries to control you with, by, in many ways, trying to control you by everything that you were afraid to lose, everything that you were holding on so tightly anyway. Because remember, before you even met that narcissist, you were already holding on tight to those things. So the narcissist just exposes that. The narcissist just sheds light on those fears in like the harshest way ever. And they don't know why they're doing it. It's not like, they're an angel in disguise, but that doesn't mean you should treat them like an angel in disguise. And we will get into that part down the line, because there's still very much a spiritual warfare going on there. And we'll talk about that too. There's so much good stuff to talk about in this. So many parts to break down. But I'm going to leave you with that for now. If you resonate with what I'm sharing with you and you are ready to step into your power, if you are ready to embody the true you and flip this dynamic, I have a 6-month one-on-one coaching package right now. I have 3 spots left for July, and I will leave that information down below.